Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. A little bit of a fun kind of impromptu video, and it's coming out in the middle of the night, so a lot of you will probably see this in the morning. And inappropriately, I basically am cannibalizing my own video. I actually released moments ago, several minutes from the time I'm recording this, my first part one of my year in review. Anyway, hopefully you'll get a chance to check it out if it's something you're interested in. It's more of a combination of my holding myself accountable, as well as basically just going through my process of setting goals for the year. So maybe that has some value to it, maybe it doesn't. But this video is going to take on a different thing. We're going to talk a little bit about some new piece of news towards the tail end here. PWCC kind of snuck in a little interesting thing. I also have some other stuff that I probably want to talk about, but that'll be in a separate video, possibly before the live stream. So here it is. Let's keep it simple. Not a lot of news to discuss here, and not a ton of analysis, but I do want to say a little bit more beyond the basic headline. So in the title, you're going to see that PWCC is to introduce a weekly auction, and that's exactly what you're looking at on the screen right now. And I'll quickly read a little bit of this to you, and I'll include a link to this in the description. And I believe there's also a video that accompanies this that I was passed along. It's very short. It's under 40 seconds, but there was a little piece that snuck out at the end. If it had just been the weekly auction thing, I wouldn't have cared about it that much, to be honest with you. But as soon as I caught that little piece at the end of the video, it kind of piqued my interest because it's going to potentially change the dynamic a little bit. So the first part of it is straightforward. It allows them to bid on cards and collectibles every day of the year, blah, blah, blah. Auction starting on Thursdays, running for 10 days, and closing on Sundays. So basically that's the model, is that it basically allows you to take, instead of having a rather large amount of lots in the tens of thousands for a monthly auction, it allows you to kind of effectively break it up into more pieces, and you get more frequent conclusions to these auctions, therefore driving more activity to the marketplace, so to speak. Now, this is all well and good. It's going to be interesting to see, of course, because that means they're going to get more conclusion, potentially more shipping out, more payments happening more frequently, and it's going to allow them also to take on more lots because people are going to get their conclusion a little bit faster. Of course, that means a better chance for things to get lost in the shuffle. People maybe tune in one week and not the other, and so on and so forth. You're not going to have necessarily the same amount of buildup, so we'll see how that affects market prices. That in and of itself, not necessarily a big deal. There were some allusions to them potentially moving to this model. However, the little piece that was at the end of the video, and it is in that last line, the weekly Sunday auction carries a 20% buyer's premium, which is to say they moved to a different model. Because on the other one, as a buyer, whatever the price was on the auction is the price that I would pay, obviously with shipping or whatever, or if there was the vaulting fee, I think would usually be waived in the ones that I've purchased, and the shipping fee was there, et cetera, et cetera. But in this case, whatever the auction conclusion price is, we're tacking on 20% of it. So even if it's a $10 card, you're actually paying 12. If it's 100, you're paying 120. Now that, of course, is going to have an alteration on kind of what you're going to bid on, because you basically have to account for whatever your concluding price is. You have to immediately throw in the back of your mind, oh, it's actually going to be 20% more. Am I still comfortable with paying that price? Now we'll have to see. On premium items, it doesn't necessarily have a major impact per se, but on kind of more modest items, it could certainly suppress prices a little bit and get the seller less. Now, I'll quickly scroll down and look at registration is the usual thing. Bidding increments, very similar to before. A lot of this stuff doesn't change too much. So it says here, the winning bidder pays the high bid, hammer price amount, plus 20% buyer's premium. Meaning if the final bidder's hammer price is $100, plus final sale price is plus the buyer's premium, making $120, which is what we just talked about. And here are the seller commissions. So all the way through, percentage of the hammer, seller bonus, total commission, et cetera, et cetera. And it's basically a nice little chart outlining everything so that everybody knows what's going on with it. Now, this element doesn't change. Items can be submitted directly to the Vault portfolio or mailed to PWCC as a new submission to your account. So this is basically how you would end up doing the selling. You either have something in the Vault and then activate it as a listing, or you send it in for them for a new submission, et cetera, and your payment, a lot of the information extended. We've already talked in the past about the extended bidding model. That sticks around as far as the different buying windows, so it's still very similar to kind of what they had set up previously with escalating and speeding up. The payment methods are all still there. So really not much of it changes other than the cadence, the weekly thing, but also that buyer's premium though. That buyer's premium to me is the big piece of this puzzle, because doing the weekly thing, that's fine. But the buyer's premium then obviously could change the math. And it's going to be interesting to see, because as PWCC has been evolving as a marketplace doing their new thing, there isn't anything particularly special about ComC's platform, but it has provided some opportunities to pick up some nice cards and some interesting cards, and something I've taken advantage of myself. And I'm reasonably satisfied with it. The shipping price is certainly high in my opinion for me, but I'm on the Canadian side of the border, so for me, maybe the price is a little bit more out of whack than somebody stateside. The point is, though, there's nothing special about the PWCC auction that makes it potentially worthy. Adding a 20% buyer's premium would certainly give me pause, as a buyer, to really consider carefully if I would be even interested in buying certain cards, because certain more available items could then suddenly be a lot more inexpensive on eBay for the exact same thing. So it's going to be a kind of choose your own adventure, and you're going to have to check it out for yourself. Your mileage may vary on this. Is it worth the 20% buyer's premium? That's really going to be up to the buyers, and I'm very interested to see what this experiment looks like going into 2022. So PWCC at least making a little bit of a move here. So before Christmas, you're going to get your weekly auctions, but a buyer's premium is coming for the buyers on that side of the equation. Anyway, so that's it for this one. I'd be curious to see kind of your thoughts. Does this make any difference to you as a potential buyer? Does that mean you are going to pay a little bit more attention since there's going to be more frequent auctions, running on a weekly basis? Would it give you pause if you're a potential bidder, having a 20% buyer's premium tacked on, not dissimilar to other auction houses like a Golden or thereabouts or Heritage? Auction, buyer's premiums are pretty standard practice in a lot of auctions, but in the sports card space outside of a Golden or a Heritage or one of those, we haven't been too used to it. People are used to the eBay model for a lot of sports cards where, hey, look, it's $100, it's $100. That's what it is. In this case, it's $100 plus 20%. So I'd be curious to see kind of where your thoughts are on that. Anyway, that's it for me on this one. Any comments or thoughts, throw them in the comments section and I'll check them out and certainly reply back to as many as I can. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.